All right, so for the assignment, I chose the health belief model, and that is a health behavior change model that was developed to explain and predict health related behaviors, particularly in regard to the uptake of health services. The health belief model suggests that people's beliefs about health problems, perceived benefits of action, and barriers to action and self-efficacy explain engagement or lack of engagement in health promoting behavior. So there were seven theoretical constructs of the HBM, and the first one is perceived severity, perceived susceptibility, perceived benefits, perceived behavior or barriers, modifying variables, cues to action, and self-efficacy. So I'll start with perceived severity. Now, perceived severity, that refers to the subjective assessment of the severity of a health problem and its potential consequences. The health belief model proposes that individuals who perceive a given health problem as serious are more likely to engage in behaviors to prevent the health problem from occurring or even reduce its severity. Now, for the next one, perceived susceptibility, that refers to a subjective assessment of risk of developing a health problem. The HBM predicts that individuals who perceive that they are susceptible to a particular health problem, usually more than likely they will engage in behaviors to reduce their risk of developing the health problem. Now, individuals with low perceived susceptibility may deny that they are at risk for contracting a particular illness, while others may acknowledge the possibility that they can develop the illness. Now, for the next one, I have perceived benefits. And, okay, so perceived benefits refer to an individual's assessment of the value or efficacy of engaging in a health promoting behavior to decrease the risk of disease. Health related behaviors are also influenced by the perceived benefits of taking action. If an individual believes that a particular action will reduce susceptibility to a health problem or decrease its seriousness, then he or she is likely to engage in that behavior regardless of objective facts regarding the effectiveness of the action. So for the next one, it is the perceived barriers. Perceived barriers refer to an individual's assessment of the obstacles to change a behavior. Health-related behaviors are also a function of perceived barriers to taking action. Even if an individual perceives a health condition as threatening and believes that a particular action will effectively reduce the threat, barriers may prevent engagement in the health promoting behavior. Modifying variables is the next construct, and that can be stated as the individual characteristics, including a person's demographic, psychosocial, and structural variables, can affect perceptions like perceived seriousness, their susceptibility, the benefits, and barriers of health related behaviors. Now, demographic variables include like age, sex, race, ethnicity, and education, and others. And psychosocial variables include personality, social class, and peer and reference group pressure, and others as well. Now, for the second to last construct, We have the cues to action, and that it goes as follows. The health belief model um, says that a cue or a trigger is necessary for prompting engagement in health promoting behaviors. Now, cues to action can be internal or external. There can be physiological cues like certain pains or symptoms, and those can be an examples of the internal cues to action. The external cues include events or information from others who are close to you. Then there are media. There's the media, or there can be like healthcare providers promoting engagement in health-related behavior. So like friends and family, one of them can be ill. Okay, so friends and family, they can be ill, and that can be kind of like a wake up call for the person. And then some certain cues, they're more intense than others, and those need to be prompted into action a lot quicker. So now for the last one, self-efficacy, and that refers to an individual's perception of his or her competence to successfully perform a behavior. Self-efficacy was actually added to the HBM, the health belief model, in an attempt to better an event, explain an individual's differences in health behaviors. All right, so the article that I chose to summarize was the purpose. What? All right, so the um, the article that I chose to write, or that I chose to write about, was is called "Decision on Influenza Vaccination Among the Elderly," a questionnaire study based on the health belief model and the multi-dimensional locus of control theory. And the purpose of the story was to create an empirical model using the health belief model and to describe factors of importance to the elderly in accepting the influenza vaccinations. Now, there were a couple methods that were taking place and that were efficient, and they were able to draw from a large sample size. So what they did was they took two coupled questionnaires and distributed it to a random sample of the Danish population who were aged 65 years or older. And they gave a code number to every person, which enabled the questionnaires and in the distribution of the reminders to the questionnaire, or to the not to the questionnaire, but to the to the people to the people within the survey. So the HBM's dimensions in perceived barriers, perceived benefits, and perceived severity were concluded to be primary predictors in regards to people implementing the influenza vaccination within their life. Now, with the questionnaires, the individuals were able to utilize the perceived benefits because the questionnaires explained certain benefits that the influenza would would give, the influenza vaccination would give, along with the perceived barriers. They would show certain barriers that can be overcome while taking the influenza vaccination, as well as certain questions about the questionnaire. Or I'm sorry, certain questions in regards to the questionnaire. They spark cues to action within some of the group, or within some of the people who are taking the questionnaire. Whoa. And since I am over time, I guess I shall end this video.